Yay, we're here. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to our live of The Wolf and the... I had to look at my book, sorry. Wildflower by Stacy.
I kept calling it Wallflower in my head because there's so many wallflowers.
Thank you. Okay. I think it was from whenever he was calling her Wildflower in my head.
Yeah.
Wallflower.
Well, okay. No, I audio. It sounded like Wallflower in the audio, didn't it, Mandy? Did you hear that?
I didn't think so.
I thought it was Wallflower.
Oh, I
only thought
the name of the book. And
I just thought Wallflower from like all the Lisa Kleypas, the Wallflowers. You know, there's so many like Wallflower books and historical romance. So that's I think that's why I was thinking that.
There is a book called The Wolf and the Wildflower. And I was like, what on earth did we end up picking?
I bet.
And I'm like, I don't think this is historical romance. I'm really confused.
Wait, you picked up the wrong book at first?
Yeah, there's one called The Wolf and the Wallflower.
Well, now I'm really intrigued. I feel like I need to go look that
I got my Kindle here. I got to go see what this is.
I know.
Probably has a way different cover than what we were looking at.
It did. And then I'm like, this isn't the right cover. And this is not a historical romance.
That being said, this is our first historical romance for our Buddy Live. Man.
Yeah, I'm like so nervous to see what you guys think.
And
did you find it, Jessica?
I'm looking. I'm getting it pulled up.
It also, I mean, I just pulled it up again, and it does have decent ratings. So,
well, there's some. Okay, this is the one pulled up. Other than,
but there's more than one. I think.
Wait, this one looks historical, but it looks like it's MM.
Oh,
yes.
That's what I wanted to say.
Is that the one, Mandy?
I think so.
Yeah.
Hey, Joanna.
Hey, Joanne.
Oh, and then Ella Fields has A Wolf and the Wildflower.
That's what Megan just said.
That's what Megan did.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't looking.
She's just being really helpful.
Jan.
That's awesome. I just wasn't looking up. Yeah.
Do you guys read a lot of historical romance, or like, is it not really in your rotation?
No, I do not. It was my first real historical romance. I feel like. Yeah, like true historical romance.
Mm-hmm. You haven't read Pam Godwin's?
She hasn't read Sea of Ruin yet, I don't think.
Oh my God, I know. It's like I have it. Why have I keep coming to me and I'm just gonna make myself read it. I'll read it.
It's your goal for the year. There you go.
Historical once in a blue moon, but I mean I have my favorites, but
yeah.
I mean I do like Stacy Reid, so
yeah.
Yeah, I like the writing style for sure.
I think she's a good intro to historical for people that like read more contemporary or like aren't used to historical romance. I think she's like a good intro. Oh, and she doesn't read a lot. Yeah, so, my first reading experience was like I started out with Kathleen E. Woodiwiss as a kid, and when I look back at what I was reading, I go, "Whoa!" Like because that was the bodice ripper time of like there's full on like essay on page, you know, stuff that goes on in those books, but I like read that as a kid and they're like nostalgic to me. Like, so I really like love historical. I don't read enough of it. That's like, always my goal every year is like read more historical. And discover more authors, but I usually just stick with like the same authors, but I definitely
I read a book yesterday. This is going to trip all of you guys up. I read a book yesterday and it was set in like 1983. And at the end of the book, it said something about for more historical romances. I was
I knew it. No. What makes that historical?
Like 20 years ago?
It's 40 years old.
That's not historical romance.
No. So we're all historical. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm laughing when I heard
I read older and it was set in the 90s. Is that historical romance? It's not the current timeline.
Cars from the 80s qualify for collector plates now. So
what does?
Cars. If you have a car from 1980 in the 80s, you can get a collector plate for it if it's not your daily driver. Because it's so old.
We're going to live in denial over here.
No. Well, like I get annoyed when I hear Nirvana on like classic rock. I'm like, that's not classic rock. I'm like, that's
But
classic
if
rock
you
to
think
teen.
about it, in the 90s, we were listening to 70s music as
Yeah.
classic rock. So
But that
90s
generation
music
is
more
classic rock. Like,
classical rock than we
Yeah.
were
it's
listening
grunge.
to.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
alternative grunge. So
Should we?
I am not a big historical person. Mandy, do you read a lot of historical?
I don't read a lot, but I have enjoyed like usually when I do read it, I really don't like third person, so that's why I tend to stay away from historical romance because that tends to be how the majority of them are written.
Mhm.
So, but I've enjoyed what I have read.
Agreed. What about
So
you,
should we
Jessica?
say our ratings for this?
Yeah.
I'm the same. I'm the same as Mandy. I don't gravitate towards it, but I do have a couple of favorites, and I do like what I've read.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, good for you, Jan.
I know that's
Yeah, I'm trying like a few a month. Like that's what I'm trying, but I don't always.
I feel
get
like
to
you
them.
read most of us.
Mm-hmm.
Most
Yeah,
historical.
I try to read a lot more historical, and I love historical romance on audiobook. So like there's so much on any play that I could listen to that I love it. So like that's why I prefer audiobooks for historical romance. I think they're so well done. So
This is funny. We have to Megan said she didn't rate it. She has questions and comments.
okay.
Oh,
All right, Megan. So I guess we'll go around. Mandy, do you want to start us off? What did you rate it? What did you think?
okay. So I listened to it, so I liked the narration, and I was mowing the lawn. I live out in the country, so I have a lot of lawn to mow. So it kept me entertained while I was mowing the lawn. So I rated it a 4. I don't know if it's like a solid 4 and if I would have read it or if I like, you know what I mean? Like I was doing a task and it kept me entertained. So I rated it as a 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jessica, you want to go next?
Yeah, I got bored in a few parts. It's not my favorite Stacy Reid. Let me just put it that way. I was really hoping for more of like, ooh, this feels like Tarzan, but it never really got into it like a Tarzan feel. I would give it a pity for. Just because of Stacy. I love Stacy Reid. I read one of hers last week that I loved. I just this didn't hit like I was hoping it would hit. So it was good. I enjoyed it. It just wasn't perfect.
I had a feeling I'm gonna be the odd one out here.
Amber.
I gave it a 6-star.
Wow.
I almost cried a couple times, and part of it was because it was so unique and different, and it got me thinking about different things, and it was such a unique setup, and it just like really moved me. Like I don't know if I'm gonna start my period soon, you guys. This could be it because this happens to me. I start like getting emotional. Like I was literally listening to an audiobook, and I would like be highlighting as I go, and I was like getting teary-eyed. So who knows? But I really loved it. I thought it was so unique. I loved the setup. I actually didn't think I was gonna like it as much in the beginning. The guy was like really pissing me off, how stoic and like whatever. But then as you further got on and see the reasons, I really enjoyed it, and I really wanted to kill her mother. So I was like, I bet they're gonna be shocked when I come out with my 6-star. They're probably not gonna have the same feelings.
Yeah.
Because my only other 6-star I think I have of hers is A Matter of Temptation. Like I gave that one 6 stars because I love that one. But
I remember you talking about that one, but I feel like that's coming from you, considering you read so much historical fiction. For you to, so that I feel like that means a lot. I'm kind of in the same camp as you guys. I feel like if it was just like for my rating, it would have been like more of like a 3.5, but I gave it more of a 4 pity stars.
A pity 4.
Because I had never read really historical fiction that much. I loved the premise of it. Like you said with the Tarzan, I was like I was really looking forward to that. But I really was interested in the fact of we're in the late 1800s, and she has lived her life as a male, and like how that I really was intrigued by that. But I always at least take half a point off, sometimes a point for third person, because I I
Yeah.
hate that. And there was a
I'm
few.
more used to it. I think that's part of it too, is like I expect
Yeah.
third person. And when I go into historical romance, I read I'm trying to remember her name. Gosh, I just lost it. She's a newer, like, and it's more independent. But she does like first person, and it throws me out of the story because when I read historical romance, I expect like third person. So I think that's easier for me. I don't like it in contemporaries, but for some reason it always works for me in historical.
And it was throwing me off. I kept having to go back. I'm like, wait a minute, who are we talking about? Are we in James's head? Or,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's a big adjustment, to make.
4 stars. But I just thought it was weird because I was like, I mean, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it was easier back then because they had the, what do they call those?
The cravats,
yeah. So they could find the Adam's apple and or lack thereof, and then they had bigger bindings and stuff. So maybe it was easier. But the fact that, and then she was like on the fence of I want to be, I want to be a doctor, and as a woman I can't be a doctor, and I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I'm like, but if you love the man, what are you doing?
Exactly.
I think it has a lot too, like to show with like it's not feminist, like shoving feminism down your throat, like some people authors will like push their whatever. But I think it was so fascinating to think of living as a man in that time where like, well, that's what was interesting too, is like in most of these books, they'd have to have a chaperone, they'd have to like a woman, she can't go here or there. And she had complete freedom to do whatever she wanted, ride horses, go off and do this, go out to clubs and go do anything, And so it's like, for her, it was like, I have this freedom. I don't want to give that up and now go and do like another cage of being, a duchess or whatever it was. And so I really found that fascinating. And also the fact that like her mom was such a freaking asshole and was like, every time she brought it up to her mom about like being herself, her mom would like push it down. Like, no, we can't do it. So I just found that interesting, that whole dynamic. And then I loved how this is where it turned for me, where he like wrote her that letter and like how he was willing to live like as a male like romance for her. I was like, that's insane because men back then wouldn't do that.
Amber loves male romances, so of course that's where it got you.
Well, and well, no, not because of that. It's because of the time. Like those men would never do that. He didn't. I think it's because of what he went through. He was willing. He didn't care about society. He didn't care what people thought. He was like, if this makes it so you have freedom to be like, continue schooling and become a doctor and do what you want to do, then fine, whatever. I don't care. So I really liked that, like spitting in like the, society and all that.
Yeah.
Just come to my bed at night.
Exactly.
Let's see.
Jan needs some Tarzan romance Rex now. There's one coming out soon, Jan.
Is there?
There is. I have it on pre-order. I'll have to look it up and let you guys know what it is, but it's coming within the next month or two. I mean, I know about like Love in the Wild, and I can't remember who the author is off the top of my head for that one.
That's and the Castle one, because that was the one I was going to say. Yeah, I love that one.
But there is one that's coming out, and it's an author that I've never read before.
It's historical?
It's kind of like, because it's a Tarzan retelling, so it's kind of like similar.
It's current times.
Yeah, but it feels, it's good. And it's really quick, too. It's a really quick read.
It's good. It's good. So I'll figure that one out for you, Jan.
Megan, smelling her. He likes the way he smells her.
I love it. Reminds me of dark romance, the scenting. I'm like, I love it. Because
it was that caveman that I've lived in a wild man. I liked that part.
It's like it's almost like the being a werewolf, where they could always scent when their mate is ready. I was like, that's what I was feeling. So maybe that's why you like it, Jessica.
Maybe Jan says her husband likes to smell her.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
Perfume.
I don't think my husband's ever come up to me and been like, "Oh, I love the way you smell." I might have to go ask him why.
Why do you not do that, honey?
Yes. What's wrong with you? Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, Love in the Wild. I really liked that. I thought I had it, but I have her other ones like Wilderness.
I know I have one on pre-order. I'll look it up here while we talk. I'll tell you guys who it is.
Let's see what Megan say.
Oh,
yes. Megan.
Did it haunt you in a bad way or a good way?
I was really confused when that was happening because I was like, how? I mean, I was trying to put myself, I guess because I don't read a lot of historical, so then I was thinking like Bridgerton times where, even when they were alone in like his townhome, you really weren't alone. You still had servants around. So I feel like you still had to hide because essentially, like us, when we're at home alone, we're at home alone. We don't have people waiting on us.
Well, and her family didn't have money. So like they weren't like rich with a bunch of servants and stuff. So
Well, yeah.
they were, and the mom kind of had them like certain people already kind of know. So they were in the know. And then when she was in university, she like lived off on her own. Cause I was like, how would you be able to pull that off with like going to school and stuff?
I was
So
like when her and Wolf or James got together and were at his townhome. Nobody knows at that point. It's just, so I was like, I in my head like had it, and then they go to this whorehouse and I'm just like, how's that gonna work? What's going on? He's weird. Joanne says her man loves her. Loves that smell. I mean, that's not weird.
It's not weird. I'm wondering what's wrong with my husband. I mean,
I know that's what I'm saying. Weird is that our husbands aren't all over us. Like
we're gonna have to go have a talk after this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm looking for this book.
Yes, I did like that he, didn't want to share, and he got like, when I like she was experiencing like jealousy, which she had never felt that. And then, they leave the guy off to his own thing and go get it on. So but I love how the madame like knew, like, she's like, yeah, I know you're a woman. Like, how did nobody else not figure it out?
Yeah, only James and this madam could. They were the only ones in life that could like.
Well, James could smell it on her.
He could smell her. Yeah.
I guess I assumed when she was going down and she took off her mustache. Maybe that was in my head. I made it that way so that it wasn't as crazy scene.
I kept forgetting that.
Totally. I was preoccupied with the whole. She's got a mustache. How does it stick? Like that was my whole because the fake ones we have will fall right off, so especially if you
she must have really good like glue or something. That was like
1800s. Yeah,
in the 1800s.
Right.
How did her mustache?
So I just went with all these things while I was riding the lawnmower around and around. And now I'm starting to question if maybe I should have questioned things more, and maybe it really wasn't a 4 because there are a lot of holes. But I just went with it and enjoyed the story for what it was.
But see, I feel like that's awesome. You got entertained. But me, I'm just sitting here thinking like in the back of my head while you're reading, this doesn't make any sense. But I went with it because I don't read a lot of historical fiction. So I'm just like, maybe that's, but I did have to look up because I'm like, what the hell does that mean? I don't understand. What are these words? Wikipedia didn't know, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I felt they were like holes in the story because I just think it was so outlandish of a plot that it was like hard to pull off completely to be a believable thing. I think in a lot of romance, you kind of have to subject reality. Okay. Like, come on, like that's not really going to happen, but let me just go with it for this fun little like historical romance because this is so different from other historical romances. So I thought it was interesting. I like the idea of seeing what it would be like to be a woman living as a man but still feels like she's a woman.
Yeah.
And like having that freedom to like do whatever she wanted. Like that's what I thought was fun was of their night out was like she could go out to like a gentleman's club. She could go out drinking. Like a woman would never be able to do that. Like a woman didn't have any rights about anything, So it's like, So I really liked that. But I think I loved it a little bit more than you guys.
It's okay. It's all good.
I think it was awesome that she got to do those things and something that other women didn't. But I was like, I felt bad for her too because she never got because of her mother. Because it was only supposed to last like a year or two, maybe 5 years, and her mother kept that on, but then she never got to experience being a woman. So then whenever she goes into a ball as a woman, I was like, how are you doing that? How are you not walking like a man because you're used to that? You how did you
Yeah.
you know, because after that, then she's like, I've never laughed. I've never laughed like a woman. I've never
Yeah.
laughed like a woman. And I'm like,
She said to live such a serious life just
Yeah.
for her studies and for her father. And so this was the first time she was like living for like what she wanted. And, you know, that's what was kind of, it was just so sad. Like, and that the mother was still trying to like push her to stay as a man for her own selfish reasons. It was like, how could you do that to your kid? I hate her. But, and her father was like completely understanding, but still like pissed because it's like his wife has literally lied to him his whole life, their child's whole life.
20 some
But
odd
he
years,
kind
right?
of backed her in a corner. Like
Mhm.
in that first chapter when she's like, I mean, if she doesn't produce the
yeah.
male, then she's gonna be forced to carry another pregnancy and probably die. So
Mhm. Which happened to so many women back then. You know, they were
Yes.
A
like,
lot of
they
pressure.
had to
And
keep.
you know whose fault it was? It was never the woman's.
Yeah.
It's always
It's like when you look at King Henry, like where he literally killed like his wives, kept going through them because Anne Boleyn didn't give him, she gave him like the best heir, which was Queen Elizabeth. But like he had to have the son, and we know that it's based off the men, you know, what ends up happening. And like she would have miscarriages, his other wives had issues, but it was always the wife's fault. And it was just, it's crazy when you think about like that time and just like, I have to have an heir and it has to be a man.
Yep. That other that Tarzan retelling that I have on pre-order.
Oh yeah.
It's called The Wild Man, a Tarzan retelling. It's by Alex Grayson, and it comes out the.
What is this
16th of
question that Jan just asked?
May. What?
Husbands role playing as women would be a
I'm
churn.
laughing at. Sorry, I was like, wait.
No,
what?
no, I knew Jen was reading it at the same time as me. She started like busting up. I'm like, wait, did any of us say that?
Yeah.
I did not say that.
So
No.
No, she's basically saying like, so if she's pretending to be a woman, let's have a man pretend to be, or she's pretending to be a male. Let's have a male.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to keep it equal, I guess.
Yeah. Yes, but I'm not gonna go.
But
for
that was common. I mean, that did happen. Like all of their plays and things,
I was
the
gonna say, yes.
males play
Yeah.
the women.
Yep.
I don't think they'd have a way to hide the Adam's apple though, for like the women clothing. You know, if you would be like,
Well, they had
it'd be
those
low
high
cut.
collared.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
during a specific time.
they would constantly be over like the wash bin shaving because, you
Constant.
know, 5 o'clock shadows and whatnot. It would be a horrific, Jan. We can't do that.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
No.
Okay, what were you saying about Tarzan? Because all I saw was husbands role playing as women.
Yeah.
Okay, the book is called, I just lost it. It comes out on May 16th. It's by Alex Grayson, and it is called The Wild Man, a Tarzan retelling.
Wild Man.
Okay. It tells you right
I've
there.
never read anything by this author, but I have it on pre-order. It looked really good when I saw it. It must have been in one of my reading groups or something that I saw them talking about it coming, where I was like, ooh, because I pre-ordered it a couple months ago.
You know what? I feel like I've read that, like read about it.
Mm-hmm. So
Sounds familiar.
We'll see. I like some Tarzan stuff.
That's true.
True.
Yeah.
Well,
He could smell what she looked like under. What?
I said, well, did we pick the book apart enough?
I thought it was well written. I wouldn't mind reading something else, but I realized about halfway through when I got a little bit bored, I put it down and then picked it back up. I was like, I'm just not a historical person.
No.
Like that type of historical. I feel like the Stacy Reid trilogy, I feel like that's a different kind of historical.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to pick and choose. I wouldn't be opposed.
Because that feels a lot more contemporary. Like it's not like historical, you know, romance. It feels like contemporary because she's going back in time, you know. It just feels like I think it'll be easier to connect to for people that aren't used to like the third person, like kind of POV and everything. But I read I love Lisa Kleypas. Like I have a lot. I'm trying to even build up more of my historical romance books. I actually ordered this book during that Target thing for the Target week.
Yeah.
they had like the buy two, get one free. And I got way too many books. And then I forgot thinking about it one night. I go, oh my God, they're going to come with that freaking Target sticker on, which can we do a ban on that, please? Because now I have to I'm going to try and do the hair dryer with like the peeling of it because why do you need to put a big Target sticker on the books? We got it. Yeah, it ruins the book. It's like, why? So I had like a bunch come in with them and I'm like, ugh.
They still come in with them when you order them?
Yeah, even online. Yeah, I thought maybe since I got them online, they wouldn't have it, but they still had the Target sticker. I'm like, okay, I get it for the store.
I did a round of that too, and they all came off really well. I was very slow about it. There was one that had a bit to do, and I got that off pretty easily, but it came off perfectly. So
that's going to be a job for me to go through all those books.
Just to save a little bit of money.
I guess Target doesn't understand that some people are avid book. I mean, but I've always been like that. Like, don't fuck with my book.
Yes.
You know, like when you get used books at the used book stores and they have like those big, huge stickers on them and stuff. You're like, God, could you put it on the inside or something, not on the cover?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was our historical. I'm glad that we had separate things.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry you guys didn't enjoy as much as me, but you know, it's
we're still not all over the page like we were with the Summer You Found Me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That one. I was really disappointed. Her new book is coming out, and I'm kind of excited about that. I can't remember what that's called. Should we talk about anything else? Any wrap-ups of this one?
I really wanted them to go live in the wild together.
I did like how they still go out to his tree house and stuff, and he has that freedom where they go off and do their own thing, and they just know they're kind of the odd couple that does their own thing. Mm-hmm. But I got emotional just like him and his wolves.
Yes, he needed to go build a cabin out there and have the wolf pack come visit and show off the wolf cubs. It's what I needed, but that's okay.
Oh, good segue, Megan. Thank you. Yes, we have.
She gets us on task.
I know she does.
What else you got?
We have, and we're going dark for next month. Ladies, I'm excited. So we are going to read The Fabric of Our Souls by K.M. Is it Moranova?
I'm going to say so.
Okay.
Sure.
Have you guys read this author before? I've never read them.
I have not.
No, but I've seen that this book is supposed to be amazing. Fingers crossed that it is. There's the audio comes out within the first handful of days in May.
Oh, that's good.
It's been on my TBR for a while. We'll see. I mean, it's in a psych ward. It's got to be good.
This is the cover for anybody who, I don't know if that's backwards. If it is, sorry, but that's what you're looking for. K.M. Moranova.
Sure. We'll go with that.
We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. Yeah. I mean, I hope it's good. I'm really hoping we have a good dark one. So, yeah.
Treehouse.
Maybe he can smell you in the treehouse.
You guys could role play that,
Yeah.
Thing.
There are some.
All right, Dave. Find me by smelling me.
There are some treehouse B&Bs, Airbnbs around here, right in Canada, and then in Washington here. We just have never felt the need. Yeah,
I remember there was that one show where the guy would go out and build these tree houses in people's backyards, really cool, elaborate tree houses. I'm like, that's so cool, but pretty expensive probably. And but it'd be cool to go just stay for a day.
I'm like, what if there's a big storm and the tree falls down?
Yeah.
By the roots and you're in it.
I've always wondered that about when you're in beachy communities where they have the houses on stilts. They're really well made, but that just I always think somebody just coming through and
yes,
leveling it off,
cutting them off.
I see that. My in-laws live outside of Myrtle Beach. They live in Conway, South Carolina.
Yeah,
and so so when we go down there and visit, all these houses are on stilts, and I'm like, What? My mother-in-law's like, this because it floods. And I'm going, oh.
Yeah, that's where I
but-
grew up in Myrtle Beach. So like I'm just used to all the silts, but every time I see them, I always just think of
Yes.
them coming and leveling them out.
Think of like some psychopath just under there, like
Just with the chainsaw.
you'll see.
Just chainsaw
All the
it
floor
around.
getting soft and falling through. Yeah.
we can weird topics.
Irrational fears.
So that'll be
With
on our
us.
channel May 19th
Oh, yeah.
at 1 p.m.
Thank you, Mandy.
Yes, thanks, Mandy.
Pacific time.
Thank
4
you.
p.m. Eastern.
May 19th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same time.
In between Mother's Day and Memorial Day on the calendar.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Just shake it down. All right.
Oh my god. When the
Nice.
tree
Safety.
Oh, Jan.
this show is getting like spicy.
Yeah, I was thinking of like Mandy and I meeting up and renting a treehouse and have a reading weekend. You're taking the
Yeah.
husband. So, you know.
I would love to do that. Like
Would that
they
be
have
awesome?
like Pigeon Forge, which is like kind of, it's not around me, but it's closer than
Right.
the woods in Washington and all that. And
A little bit.
like, yeah, like a little tree cabin up there.
Yeah,
Room for one, please. I'll just leave the husband and the kid at home.
exactly.
The best vacation.
Yeah, a
Mhm.
reading vacation. That's what I was telling my friend. I have one of my best friends is named Jessica, and I was like, we should just rent someplace and go read. We don't have to talk to
Yes.
each other. Let's just read.
Yeah.
Well, that's like Mandy and I have decided. Well, I guess I decided, Mandy's coming along with it, that we're taking a road trip. So we're doing Readers Take Denver in July, and it's 10
No,
hours
we're
from my
not.
house. No,
We're
not
going
Readers Take Denver
to
for
the
2 days.
Rockies. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, you can't drive. You're going to drive us in the wrong direction.
Oh my god.
No, I know we're going to Canada. I was seeing everybody's at Readers Take Denver this weekend, so that's where that popped in. But yeah, we're gonna do the Canadian Rockies one, and it's 10 hours away, and
All to save a couple $100 on flights.
more than a couple. It's more than a couple. We'll be good. But Mandy's like, I'll just read. I was like, that's gonna conflict with my audiobook, so we're gonna have to figure this out here, how we're gonna do this all the way there.
I know when me and my mom did our just little road trip, I basically was like, oh, we're going to listen to audiobooks. Sorry, I'm driving. And so we like listened to like the whole audiobook, and it was kind of nice, like to just have the audiobook going.
And I'm
Because when I
like-
drive with my son, he won't let me play my audiobooks.
My kids won't either. I'm like, you could just read to me, but she'd have to do the voices. I need voices.
You know what you could do
You
is
got to act it out.
if you were reading for that month, you guys could tag team it and listen to the buddy read. Maybe
Yeah.
that. Or
But
just
I mean,
Or Mandy can just fly there and Jessica can pick me up from the airport.
the hell, wait with me. I ain't picking you up. This is a dual thing here.
I'll
Where
Uber.
one goes the other.
Sounds like Mandy's excited for this road trip.
It'll actually be really fun.
You guys will
Well,
have
what
fun.
she's leaving out is I have to drive almost 4 hours to get to her house. Then we
Oh.
have a 10-hour road trip.
oh, and then it's 10 hours. It's not
That's where my
Yikes.
hesitation keeps coming in with the whole thing.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
driving
lot.
10 hours. I mean, come on.
Megan.
Oh,
You could put on a lot of Ice Planet Barbarians and listen to a bunch of those.
you could, especially at that 3.5 speed. Wow, we could get through a
Oh my
lot of
God.
Ice Planet Barbarian. We could get through the whole thing because technically it's 20 hours because it's 2 there and back.
Mm.
So I'm online and I'm gonna book my flight.
Andy's going. We might start looking at flights now.
Ooh. I wonder if we should
Fine.
pick an alien romance in the future for one of our buddy reads, or would that be mean to do that to Mandy?
I
And
can
Jen.
be an alien. You could pick one
I'll
you're
pick me.
you're after us, right? Amber
Yeah.
and June. That
I'll
could
have
be
to
your
look
pick.
into it.
Pick an alien romance.
Because a lot of the alien ones that like I'm in the middle of series, you know? Like so
Yeah.
it's like a second
Yeah.
book, a third book.
Well, if
Yeah.
Mandy is down to read an alien, then I
Oh.
will take one for the team as well. And read
Oh,
it.
Or
thank
you're-
you.
You're welcome.
I know
Or
Zoe
what is
Draven's got new ones coming out sometime soon.
Yeah.
So this is funny because like we're sitting here talking about this historical romance and how we had a hard time picturing like, well, you guys, about the whole like mustache and her pretending to be a woman, but yet you could totally get on board with like the blue-dicked
Blue man.
aliens and
Blue
all
man.
that.
Or my
Not a
spider
stretch of the
alien.
imagination at all that these women are
Penises.
abducted by hot aliens.
Yep.
Maybe I'll pick the spider romance, you guys. But I've already read it, but I'm
I
okay.
started and finished it. I mean, I started and I just wasn't in the mood for it, so I put it aside. There's that other one too, that Taken to Varixia or whatever. I have it.
Yeah, I
I
started that.
Yeah, and
Where they're
that's
like little novellas.
really good, supposedly.
Yeah, I thought the first two were okay. Because I read it just because like Tip Talks pages and then we're doing like that Alien with Ava's romance books or whatever. And I read the first one. I thought it was okay. It was decent. But like the third one on a different couple, because the first two books are on the same couple, I liked that one like way better than the first two. So I think it's a pretty easy read. I think she did those way before she did like the Horde King series. So I think it's like her earlier writing.
Oh no, this isn't Zoe Draven. This is somebody else.
Oh wait, okay, never mind.
Yeah, this is something because both of her creatures or people.
Oh wait, mine's Luxuria, I think.
Luxuria. Yeah, this is like
Yeah, okay.
Phyrexia or something. But
No,
Okay.
I'm
Dark
and Jennifer
alien
just
romance.
staring off into space right now, right? Me and Jennifer, like,
This is an Alien, but we already did a Pam Godwin book, so this probably wouldn't work. But her Eve trilogy, where the people like turn into bugs.
Well, I've heard some like I'm scared to read that series because it's not like fully HEA. Like in the first book.
The third book. I've read the first. I know what happened in the second because it was spoiled. But
yeah.
I'm still willing to read it. It's been a long time since I found out what happened in the second.
I'm going to read it because I want to read her whole backlist, but I was kind of spoiled for it. Like I watched somebody really rant on it. And so I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to go in with that, but I think maybe knowing that ahead of time, I won't freak out as bad, you know?
No
bugs.
No
the bugs aren't part of the romance, though. It's like with humans.
No. Yeah, bugs are the bad guys. Bugs are the bad guys.
Yeah, it's like a post-apocalyptic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm on the same page as Jan. I'm like, I don't know if I'm.
But you guys, I thought I wouldn't like it, but the spider, the Vrix, is one of my favorite alien romances. Let me see. Where do I have that book? Because it's like a crazy cover. Oh, it's like way back here.
Wait, Joanne, it's Monster and Mafia?
I was gonna say, have you guys heard about that? Because I have not.
I'm writing it down. I gotta look it up.
Joanne.
Cleo Evans. I've heard of Cleo Evans.
Mm-hmm. Because I really like January Rain. I like her monster stuff. Or her, I guess they're not necessarily monsters.
Yeah, because I put this spider one in monster and alien because I mean like that's your guy right here. Look how beautiful he is.
Oh yeah.
By ring light.
Yeah, you can tell me he looks like a spider, but my brain makes him look like a human male.
Well, I looked up artwork too, and it made me more into it. Like because he ties her up with his webs.
Artwork.
And I was like, oh.
Well, it's a husband and wife duo, but they have an Etsy page, and you can see the artwork on the Etsy page. So yeah,
it's cool.
So Cleo Evans, her Three Fates Mafia. It looks like there might be at least 4 books, but there's a Monster Mafia, a Sapphic Monster Mafia, a Monster Mafia. I can't find the other one.
Well, I love Monster. So.
I love Mafia. So
Mafia.
Okay. Well, we have lots to think about for June.
Okay. Yeah.
Monster Mafia is fun.
So our second runner-up was Older by Jennifer Hartman. Has anybody read that?
I did.
I did. What'd you guys think?
I liked it. It was better than the last Jennifer Hartman that I read. I was really like, I wouldn't say disappointed, but I was kind of let down a little bit. The last one that I read from her, but this one I enjoyed more. But I haven't rated it because I was like, I feel like I want to give it a 5, but it's more of a 4 for me. But I really just
their arc, so I had to like kind of be nicer too. Like I hate to like, but I was kind of disappointed
Like
but not hating it. I liked it, but there was disappointing little issues to me. So I ended up giving it 4 stars, but because it was the arc, I probably would have given it 3.5. It was just, there were just little like things that didn't work for me. And it was just drawing on and on, like the repetitive, and then his like pushing her away and then like doing something. And then I don't know, I just didn't connect to it as much. I thought it was trying really hard to be like super angsty and like push the slow burn. But that's just me. Like everybody else is like loving it. But I mean, the only other Jennifer Hartman I read was the, serial killer crazy one. So that's what that's like different.
I thought this was, I liked it a lot more than I liked the last one. I can't remember which is the last book that I read from her.
Was it June 1st?
No, I know that the duology that she came out with last year, I was not a big fan of. Like, it was good, but it just...
I haven't read it yet. I have the special edition sitting on my shelf, but I haven't read it.
I have both of them. I mean, I love Jennifer Hartman, but this one I felt like was better at the writing. I really enjoyed it, but I did have a couple issues with it, but I really enjoyed it. I mean, I couldn't stop reading it, and maybe because I just like the 90s too. Like, I really enjoyed it.
I know, I loved it. Like the 90s and like all the music references.
Oh my God, yeah,
that was my music.
Spotify. Yeah, me too. And I pulled up Spotify and the playlist and I was listening to it, and I was like, oh my God.
I listened to the playlist. I actually still have it pulled up, and I'll put it on every once in a while because I just loved it.
Did I miss that one? Oh, okay. So here we go. I'm gonna go back. Megan said it was on
the one song on there, Dancing in the Dark by Biz Coletti. I've never heard that version before. I loved it.
Yeah, I know. Yep. Because when they actually talked about the songs in it, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to go look that one because I don't know if I've heard that or not, and I didn't either. Jan said it didn't sound intriguing to her.
I was just looking at my review because I'm like, what? Because I know I put my issues, but I didn't harp on it. But I think the main things was the repetitive scenes, the constant like back and forth, the pushing her away, then wanting her, then pushing her away. I was like getting major Lady Blue Balls, which I know she's trying to make you do. I know she's trying to make that happen. But then also the constant time jumps to be like, oh, it's been 2 months. I don't like that. And then like huge time jumps. Oh, it's been a year. Oh, it felt like, okay, then you're just telling me what you guys have been through. I'm not seeing you guys go through. I don't like a lot of time jumps, and there was a lot in this book because it's like dragging it on for a while till but that's just me. I saw everybody giving it like 5 stars on here.
I normally don't like time jumps, but in this one it didn't bother me. But I liked that she actually built, like, I didn't mind the back and forth because he's significantly older. He's trying to repair his relationship with his daughter, who's her best friend. She's been through a horrific home life, like that actually made me cry. And I was like, I can't keep reading about her life like this. Is horrible. And so I like that because I thought it really started to establish like they have feelings for each other, but they're not just going to impulsively act on it. And I really, really like that. Sometimes with like age gap romance, I get frustrated with how fast they get together because it feels like that shouldn't be the norm. Like most people, if they're falling for somebody significantly younger than them, there's going to be a lot of pause and reflection before they just go for it.
Yeah, I agree with you. It just felt like 2-3 years of pause and reflection. And, I get the reasons. It was just, I just didn't connect to it. I was like kind of bored and I was like waiting for the next book. I like had too many arcs to do, and it was emotional. I liked her character. I think she's so strong. I think she's a survivor. I loved that. But then like the whole 3rd act thing went down, and I was like, okay. It just like, I don't know, like I haven't read a lot of her other stuff though. So this was a different Jennifer Hartman to me than like the super dark Jennifer Hartman.
Everything I've read by her. I've read a few. It was definitely different.
But I think for people that love slow burn, they're going to freaking love this, that love angsty. They're going to love this, and I mean, like it does have the dark thing because of her, like what she's gone through with her family and all of that stuff. I thought that was all like really moving and sad. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't hate it. It just wasn't like a 5-star to me. Like it had my own issues with like the time jumps and like, I don't know. I just didn't hit it as much as I thought I was going to like it.
I was happy with it. I mean, I gave it a 4 stars. I was happy.
Yeah. I mean, I still gave it 4 stars, so it's not like a bad book. It's just, I think I was expecting something different. And so, you know, when you go in with certain expectations, it's not good. So
it was more towards like a 4.5 though, because I feel like the last few things that I've read from her, I just was like kind of missing a lot of things. Like, and I do find that with her though, is sometimes I feel like I miss certain things, or I wish something would have been elaborated on, or it was kind of touched on here, but I didn't feel like I got a resolution from it.
Yeah, this one did feel a lot more like such a character-driven book, which I tend to like those. So I think she did a lot of character development and growth in the characters. So I think it's like still amazing writing, really good character growth, and seeing her journey, you know. I think that's like a really good coming of age and like being a survivor story. So there's a lot good to it, you know.
Honestly, I kept thinking, and I don't know if like you guys feel this way, but it gave me, not that I'm saying it was like these books, but I would think of like Binding and Keeping 13 because of the domestic violence. And then I would think of, oh shit, it just went out of my head. What was I thinking? I don't remember. Oh, The Lovely Return. It kind of gave me, like, just because of like the age gap, like that, I kept going back and thinking about those books while I was reading this book. So I'm like
I still haven't read The Lovely Return.
I haven't either.
Yeah. I keep forgetting. Hold on. Let me write that down. So I actually put it on my TBR.
That book is huge. I am waiting for audio.
Oh, it's not an audiobook yet?
No, it's not audio.
It's not that huge, right, Mandy? When you're reading it, it's not.
No. It feels huge. And I like Karen Cole does good audio when she has audio. It's just one that I normally wait for the audio.
I love it when authors do it at the same time, where they release the audio and the book, or at least within the week of each other.
After.
Mm-hmm.
I've never listened to her audio, but I'll tell you, it just didn't seem big to me.
No.
And there's a couple in that one, but
yeah.
So if we were comparing older to The Lovely Return, The Lovely Return would be like my favorite, hands down.
Oh no, I'm not.
Oh really?
Sure, I was
so
not
good.
Comparing it. Not comparing.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm saying for me, if I was to like, I mean, Older was a 5-star. The Lovely Return was a 5-star. But if I had to like pick, The Lovely Return, hands down, blows everything else out of the water.
Everything out of the water. It just made me think of that. So I'm like, here I am reading this book, but I'm thinking about 2 other books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
those books again.
So. I cannot wait for her new book that she keeps teasing. Oh my gosh.
Remind me, what's this one supposed to be about?
She picks up a hitchhiker.
Well, I'm down. I'm good. I'm in.
It's supposed to be like a darker romance.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in.
Oh my God. See, Megan, you just join us on the live. So
I finished that. So good. Like me and Jen from the Book Refuge were like just messaging each other. We were like doing the talking, you know, voicemail messages through Instagram, because it's like you want to talk to somebody about it, but like nobody's read it and you don't want to give things away. And I know Jess had already read it because you were so lucky. It's so awesome. But I got an arc for it. So like I get so excited like getting her arcs. Like I feel so like appreciative, and like I need to order those hardbacks. I was thinking of doing, because she has the signed ones. Because like I think the hardbacks have even better, like different art than she has in like the ebooks. So I want to see those.
100% sure, because I haven't. Obviously, I haven't read that. I mean, I've sent me, but I haven't read the official ebooks. Even though I have the official ebooks, because she sends us those too once they're done. So I can see the difference, and I have the hardcover of the first book. The second book she'll mail to us once she gets them. Because it's just our gift from her.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did see your video on TikTok or whatever where you were like opening it up and showing it. It was so pretty. Like,
so pretty. And she did the covers herself.
Really?
So cool.
and they're significant to the books. And when
Yeah.
you get to the scene where you see that, you're just like, oh my God.
I love it.
We just
Echo
did
is
our
really
interview
taboo.
with-
That's a taboo read by Seven Rue or whatever.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of drama that went on with Seven Rue like years ago where people were like, stop reading her because I don't know, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I remember reading that way back. I can't remember which one that was, but I don't know if it was like Step something.
No. Oh, the Echo wasn't. Echo was the last.
Okay.
I agree with Megan. Pam does really great artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really pretty.
All right.
Yeah,
I love it.
We had our interview with her last night, so that'll be
Oh,
Thursday.
cool.
That'll
That's
be
so
up.
awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's go back to what Megan said. Let's wrap this up. We
Yeah.
got like 9 minutes. Okay, so Mandy, what are you reading, or what did you finish? Or
I just finished Taming 7, and I am in the middle of the first Pam Godwin. What is it? The Hills.
No
And
shivers.
Shivers and Shadows.
Yes, I'm halfway through.
yeah, I wanted to read those when they were complete.
That's
Well,
what I told
August.
Jessica this morning. I was like, I feel like I want to pause because
Yeah.
the third book won't be out till the end of August. And I'm like, I feel like I want to pause and wait until the end of August and then read all of them like back to back.
I think
And I
that's what-
haven't quite decided if I'm going to do that or not.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I'm gonna do because my brain doesn't work half the time, so I'm just gonna go all.
That's
in
what,
this.
and then Pam specifically talked about how in our interview, she was talking about how there's like lots of like clues and hidden things in the books. And I'm like, I won't remember anything.
I'll forget that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, good. That's a little sneak peek of Thursday's video. Thank you.
Yes, and Pam understands for those who need to wait. She totally gets it because she's the same way. So
Mhm.
All right, Jen, let's tackle it in August.
Okay. I'm doing
well,
it. I'll be
audio for the first book comes out. Was it the day before or the day after the third book?
So August 26th is the release date for the third book, and the
And then
27th, the audio
Audio.
comes out for the first, and then they're like the second's in October and the third is in December. but
December
she-
10th.
I
or
wonder,
15th.
is she getting a full cast for that too? Like, I wonder. Oh,
No.
okay.
right. So I'll read them at the end of
Well,
August. early
Amber,
September.
you can watch our interview with her on Thursday
Learn
and
more.
learn more.
She announces all
No.
of that in our interview. She announces
Okay.
who the people are.
Jessica, what are you reading, or what have you finished?
I'm in the middle of a book. It's called Claimed. It's by M.L. Marion, and it is a series of 4 books that are based off. You know the old movie Seven Brides for Seven Brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's based off that book or that movie.
it's based off the trope that movie was, or based off the
Premise.
Roman and Sabine women that movie was made from. These books are the same way. So in this family, the men go and capture the woman that they want for their wife and bring them back to the homestead and force them to be their wives.
Oh, ooh.
That sounds pretty dark.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as dark. Like, I read the prequel, which is a short little novella, and it was all told from the guy's perspective. They are a little crazy, but I love that. And that was cute. It was for as dark as it should have been.
I love
had
you
more
said they're
cute-
crazy. It was cute.
It was cute. Well, he had a 6-year-old son, and so it was cute.
Oh,
There
okay.
were cute elements in it.
We all know
it-
what
it's
cute
good.
means for Jessica.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
God.
now this is the first.
It was such a
full-length-
sweet little novella.
No, this is the first full-length book, and it's the kid from the first book. He's grown up and he's got his woman now. So
he's got to choose his woman. Okay, awesome.
yeah.
And for you, Amber, what are you?
I just finished The Ritual by Chantal Tessier or whatever. Like, I've seen that everywhere, and I put it off forever because it was pretty long, and I saw some differing reviews on it, but I got the audiobook, and it was duet narration, and it was really good, not audiobook.
Isn't Teddy?
No, it's not Teddy. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Okay. Is it?
Shoot.
I
No,
didn't-
it wasn't Teddy.
I
But I just
listened-
started Us, by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy, because I only read him. I never went to Us.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that one right now.
Okay. And
I
Jen?
I just finished our book, so that yay. And now I can dive into Taming 7 because I started it, but I have not been able to actually read it. So,
Okay.
and I'm
Yeah.
loving it so far.
Okay. Yay.
Loving it so far. Okay, so we've talked about what we're going to read next month, when it is, and what we're reading now.
Yeah.
Anything else,
Sounds
ladies?
good. No.
No, I think
Well, our viewers, man, you guys are freaking awesome today. We all have our homework is to go make sure our husbands and spouses, somebody's got to smell
smell
it.
us.
So weird.
Oh, I love it.
On that
I mean,
note,
my
Jen,
husband will love it. He'd be like, you're so weird, but I mean, like, that's what you love about me, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's when I read a book and I look over at my husband. I go, "You don't do this. Why don't you do this?" And he's like, "Because it's written by women. That's why." Just do it.
I'm like, just do it. Let's see what happens. But just do it with a straight face because I can't even say it with a straight face.
And then he'll say something like, I'll be like, "Repeat this line." He'll say it, and I'm like, "Yeah, that doesn't hit right. That's
That doesn't
not-
sound like Teddy Hamilton.
Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to say it like Teddy does."
Who the hell is Teddy?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Jan
oh my
said-
gosh, is that why you
Let's
want a
do it.
road trip so you can kidnap Teddy Hamilton?
Oh. Okay.
We're going to take your car. Yours has a trunk. Mine's a hatchback. All right.
Well, all me. Teddy, watch out. Watch out. Teddy.
Poor Teddy. Like, does he just get attacked at these things? You know, like all the
He
women
really,
just.
I'm like, there was a lot of people around him at all times.
Yeah.
I wonder
There
if people
was
go up
that-
to him and say this to me.
He's very friendly. He's very personable. He remembers everybody.
Weird.
I think he thrives in that moment. He doesn't seem uncomfortable or anything. I don't know. What
Yeah.
It'd just be weird for somebody if I'm an audio narrator and somebody
Yeah.
comes up to me and say this line for me.
He was pretty good about going to everybody, but he always had people around him.
He seems like a nice guy. Like he looks like he would be a nice guy.
I never saw it like anybody being weird with him, but there was a male cover model there.
I know who you're talking about,
but-
the old guy.
No,
he
different
was
one.
like, no, he was a lot younger, and he was sitting on
The
like
old guy
women's
was there, too.
laps, and they were doing shots together. But I think he was like thoroughly enjoying himself. But
I don't know. The
It
people
was-
I saw sitting on his lap were a good 20, 30 years older than him. So,
yeah,
but he was
You're
in the
sitting on
he
his
was-
lap. Like, give the guy
no, he
some.
was sitting like on their laps.
He
and,
was,
like,
yeah. Mhm.
kind of being
This
passed
was
around
at
the table.
the author dinner the night
Yeah.
before the event, and they were like a table like over from us, and Mandy and I are going, "Who is that? What the hell is going on over there?"
There was a lot
Party.
of shots happening.
Like the
A
party
lot of
table
shots.
over there.
I don't know
Yeah.
about that. I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
I mean, we were in
Yeah.
Vegas, so you know.
Well,
so-
There you go.
Mhm.
On that note,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
all right. Thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
joining us. We'll see you
Thank
next
you.
time.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Here it goes.